entering scrub territory.
I'm the man, I got the plan. When it hits the fan, do all I can, do all I can. Well, she lets her hair down.
Hey guys, Christian the Haver Card Man coming at you today with another card theory video. Today we are talking about cross sheep, but before we get into that, be sure to hit that like and that subscribe button, and while you're at it, also hit the bell button so you can get all of the notifications for this channel's future uploads. And also, while you're at it, check all of the links down in the description to all of the other fellow members of the coalition, as well as my channel, and be sure to go subscribe to all of them and check out their content. They are all awesome people with wonderful videos. Anyways, let's go ahead and get talking about cross sheep. In my opinion, probably one of the most overrated link monsters to come out. So, with the release of Ignition Assault, we received a rare card known as Cross Sheep, and if you don't know what this is yet, you are obviously behind in the Yu-Gi-Oh meta, but that is perfectly okay because that's what I'm here to do today, is to talk about it with you. So, let's start off with base stats. First off, we have an Earth attribute, Link effect monster with 700 attack and a Link rating of 2. Its Link materials required are 2 monsters with different names. Doesn't seem too hard to get off, right? Now let's go into its effects. If a monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, you can apply the following effects in sequence based on the card types of the monster this card points to. For a ritual monster, you get to draw 2 cards, then discard 2. Not too bad. For fusion, you get a special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. And Synchro and Exceed we can kind of ignore, but I'll bring them up anyways just because they are still there. They're somewhat relevant. Synchro, all monsters you control gain 700 attack. Okay, that's a decent little boost. And then Exceed, all monsters your opponent controls lose 700 attack. So that's kind of a terrible first turn play. But anyways, you can only use this effect of Cross Sheep once per turn. And its arrows point to bottom right and bottom left. So the arrows are pretty decent, I will give it that. So let's get into talking why I think this card is a little overrated. Now, that's not to say that it's a bad card by any means. I just feel like there are probably better options that we can run than Cross Sheep, but once again, we will get into talking about that. So, obviously the 2 monsters with different names, that's not too hard to pull off. That's actually relatively easy for just about any deck you play. And the biggest deck that this is seeing playing right now is Shaddoll's. Now, Shaddoll's does kind of make sense to a degree, just for the fact that if you do fusion summon, because you're fusion summoning a lot with that deck, the whole point is to fusion summon, especially with the invoked variant. You're just popping off with fusions left and right. So obviously being able to special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard is pretty valuable. That would be pretty much a +1 effect. And the reason I don't see this as being super huge is because in my mind it really just kind of uses up 2 materials. Because the thing is, you'd probably use Cross Sheep, and then you'd most likely end up recovering one of the materials that you used for its summon. And at that point, it's like, well, why don't you just cut out the middleman, save the extra slot in your extra deck, and just go straight into the plays you were planning on going into? So, I mean, there's probably some cases that I'm not thinking of here that actually could be super valuable for it. I'm not saying... Once again, I'm not saying that being able to special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard is not a huge deal, because that can be a game-changing effect. It's just the case in which it's used. I think it's a little too situational in its effectiveness, because really you're just trading 2 monsters for 2 monsters. Yeah, you might be able to trigger an effect from a creature entering the battlefield, but at the same time you could have done that before by just summoning it. So I don't know, I'm having some issues here. And then Rituals, I mean, once again, who's playing Rituals in 2020? I don't understand. Like, Necros isn't huge. The Megaliths really aren't that great. And overall, Rituals, in my opinion, are just a little bit too slow. They just kind of... They don't really play the game the way the rest of the meta is right now, so they kind of struggle a little bit from the way I see it. Which, drawing the 2 cards and discarding 2 cards, yeah, that's not bad. But at that point, I'd rather just throw a hand destruction in my main board and just draw 2, discard 2 with a quick play spell card. And then obviously the Synchro Exceeds, no one cares about. That's not worthwhile at all. Like, there's no point to even run Cross Sheep if that's what you're doing. But once again, just that special summoning 1 level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard, I can't justify that. The only thing I can justify about it is playing it in Master Rule 4 and getting those 2 arrows plus keeping the 2 monsters. That's the only thing that I can see that could be valuable from it. But even then, I think there are probably still better options to play. I mean, like I said, I can't really name any off the top of my head right now. I didn't go look up any before, but there are definitely better options, I'm sure, that people can play that have the same arrows, or at least still good arrows to work with. So, I don't know. I mean, this card has already skyrocketed up to $15 for being a rare from Ignition Assault. I've already got 6 copies of this card, like I've mentioned, and I don't know. I don't see it, I guess, but the rest of the meta does, so there's something to it that I'm just not seeing, I suppose. I guess, yeah, there are those once per turn effects that are soft once per turn, so you can definitely trigger out those. So there are some cards that can get the value off of this that I think people are looking for. But once again, those are like very specific most of the times, and they might not always be running fusions. So I don't know. I'll let you guys tell me down in the comments what you think of this card. In my personal opinion, it is honestly slightly overrated. So yeah, I guess just let me know what you guys think, and we will definitely continue on with this series about talking about new cards coming out and their potential power. So personally, my recommendation is don't run this, just run something else instead. There's a whole ton of better cards to play than this. So I mean, give it a shot, play test with it. If you like it, keep it. If you don't, get rid of it. This is all subject to personal opinion. This is just how I feel about the card. It's not how I'm telling you guys to feel about the card or anything like that. You decide how you want to feel about it and go from there. So that's all I have to say for this video today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, be sure to click that like button as well as the subscribe and bell notification down below so you can stay updated on all of the future uploads on this channel. And while you're at it, check the links down in the description for everyone else's channel, and be sure to go subscribe to them as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to have fun and make your move. Peace out.